Today, Bridget and I are going to talk about how our collaboration together not only strengthened our reflective practices, but those of our students as well.
So one day I was sitting in my classroom before school got started, and I was looking at all my to-do lists and the PD that was coming down the pike, as well as new district initiatives that I just wanted to get a jump on. And then all of a sudden an email popped up. And I said, ooh, what's this C2C program all about?
To whom it may concern, just kidding. Dear Bridget, are you looking to expand your craft and grow as a reflective practitioner? Then the Colleague to Colleague program is the program for you. The C2C is a full-year peer coaching program. It is voluntary, non-evaluative, and one-on-one in order to best support the needs of all teachers. During our time together, we focus on goals that you determine are important for your classroom. We collaborate once a week, and I also come into the classroom about every other week to observe your practice around that targeted area. And for that time and commitment, you earn 67.5 PDPs.
And as educators, we all know that we have a lot on our plates. And we always ask the question, how are we going to do it all, and how are we going to do it all well?
Bridget's future looks bright. Don't worry, Bridget. With our work together, we focus solely on what is important to you and your students.
And this year, I knew I really wanted to focus on goals. Goals for myself, as well as goals for my students, for them to help navigate their own learning.
But Bridget, there are so many directions you can go just on that one topic. And that's why individualized support is so important, as the quote behind us suggests. For change to happen, you need to feel that your ideas are not just being heard, but valued as well. That's why, through one-on-one support, we're able to turn those goals into practice.
And for me, I genuinely value the relationships that I have with my students. The success I've had in my classroom thus far has come from the relationships I have forged with them. By participating in the C2C program, I'm showing my students the importance of asking for help, showing them that vulnerability is not a weakness, it is actually a strength. Sharing this with them in hopes for them to see, acknowledge, and understand that when we ask others for help, we actually progress towards the achievement of our goals. We don't all accomplish our goals at the exact same time, but we will eventually get there at the time and rate that we need to. We want our students to ask us for help as well as other people. One student in particular, Sally, she was very timid and shy, and she had like a lot going on in her own personal life, and she never wanted to be a burden to anyone. The word goal was never part of her vocabulary.
And Bridget, as you know, goals are great, but actually taking steps toward them is a challenge. That's why I provide several options and let you choose what is best for you and your students. There's no one-size-fits-all in education, and that's why I don't just drop the resources and go. I stay with you throughout and provide guidance and support to turn that goal into a reality.
And while working with Mr. Stanley, a potential challenge that we uncovered in the classroom was the students' lack of taking ownership of their own goals. We felt like this would be a fantastic area to dive into with our students. We wanted our students to create SMART goals so then they would be able to figure out what they needed to do next.
Absolutely. And as you know, Bridget, these changes do not come easy. As Bridget's partner, I should not be the one holding her back from her learning. I'm not an expert in everything, and that should not stop a goal. You ready, Bridget? We gotta rip that Band-Aid off together. It means taking some research. It means talking to other colleagues who are more knowledgeable than us. And sometimes we just dive in head first and see how the students and teacher react to it.
We also know it takes time, it takes trust, and it takes full commitment to allow oneself to be vulnerable and open. By sharing this with my consulting teacher and my students, we saw that there was much more willingness to try.
Absolutely. And what was powerful for the students throughout was us tackling that unknown together, both with success and a lot of failure. Sorry, Matt. But through that, students were able to see that we were persevering through different challenges. They were able to see that they could constantly work to better themselves. And not only did our collaborative time spill into student arrival time, that allowed them to see that we were working together. The students knew that Ms. Monagle asking for help reinforced to them that they could ask for help as well.
On a day-to-day basis, one student in particular will always ask me, "Miss Monagle, who did you ask for help today?" And believe me, I've not let him down. I tell him, there's always someone I'm harassing. Oh no, I mean asking for help. And as we know as educators, our students aren't always hitting their full goal right away. Sometimes we're just going to see some movement and some growth. But as educators, we need to show our students and highlight that movement and growth so then they can help figure out what their next steps should and could be.
Absolutely. The images behind us show some of the progressions that we've made with our reflection sheets from the beginning of the year until now. Perfection did not start at day one, and the students knew that too. For them, seeing us constantly work to improve inspired them to want to work harder as well. And for sweet old Sally in particular, she has grown leaps and bounds in her own confidence and her own value. By recognizing her strengths, she was able to see that she did have value for herself. Although the word slowly and maybe shows some hesitation, the fact that she's advocating for herself by asking for help will not only benefit her in her future academics, but her life as well.
Now, it's great to hear from us, but we have an audio clip of 3 of our 5th grade students sharing their goals as well as the goal setting process.
I really like to do stuff by myself, which sometimes is good, but another person could know something that I do not know, which makes asking for help a big role in my life.
At first, when we were setting our goals, I was not doing my goals because I was not believing in myself. So when our teacher told us to start setting our goals, I decided to ask for help because all I was doing was just doing them and always getting them wrong. Then that day, I decided to ask for help, so now I believe in myself.
I think class goals are good for you because they help you improve on certain things that you're scared about. I started asking for help because sometimes you can get scared to do things, but when I asked for help, I realized I was getting better and I wasn't as scared anymore. And that if you just believe in yourself, you can start understanding more things that you didn't know you would understand.
So with so much going on a day-to-day basis, the support of a consulting teacher allows me to focus on one main area at a time. I'm able to watch it evolve and grow visibly in my classroom on a day-to-day basis. With this visible growth, we are then able to see my students actually taking action in their own goals. This image behind us shows how one student sums up education in my classroom. Participation is essential.
And not only did that growth and collaboration impact Bridget, but it also impacted her 81 students as well. And she's only one of 9 teachers that I've collaborated with this year. All of them have taken leaps and bounds in pushing themselves towards taking new risks and achieving those goals. They're branching away from their routines and really becoming more engaged with their learning. And I'm only one of 4 consulting teachers in the district. Imagine our impact with all of us together. All teachers can do it. We just need the structures and support of a peer to guide us and help us through the goals that we want to work on.
I would love to take this opportunity to thank the Revere Educator Leadership Board, the school committee, as well as central office for allowing educators a chance to grow because of the C2C program, giving us the choice to choose to participate, as well as allowing us to use our voices to decide the areas that we actually want to grow in to benefit ourselves and our students. And just a side note, last year, leaving the Educator Showcase with my colleague Cindy, we actually caught up with Dr. Kelly, and she asked if we thought we would ever present here, and I laughed at her. So now I am asking Dr. Kelly and Central Office, please do not laugh at my request to possibly participate in year 2 of the C2C program.
Thank you.